raining. I can finally ride my motorcycle. Oh, it's raining, man. I wish I could change the weather, man.
Were you talking about weather? Modifying the weather?
Yes, I was.
Did you know that with science, everything is possible, including weather modification?
Weather what?
Weather modification. Do you want to know about it?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little something about weather modification. You must be wondering, what is weather modification, right? Now, let me give a brief explanation on weather modification. A weather modification is the act of intentionally manipulating or altering the weather. The most common form of weather modification is cloud seeding, which increases rain or snow, usually for the purpose of increasing the local water supply. Weather modification plans for significant areas envision either direct influence on the atmosphere by technical means or a change in the geographic factors that influence the process of climate formation.
Hi! Weather modification first started in 1946, which is the experimental era, as scientists immediately follows their own key laboratory and field discoveries in 1946 to 1947. Where does it started? It started in United States, that is in Ohio, Alabama, and California. Why we use weather modification? Weather modification can also be used to prevent natural disasters such as hail or hurricanes. It is also used to create a fake damaging weather to trick enemies as a tactic for the military. And his experiments showed positive results, which create a sparking and tremendous interest in the field. How does this work? Farmers have long wished they could control the rain, which can be done by using weather modification. Cloud seeding, which can be used by using silver iodide shot into clouds to encourage precipitation. Generally, when water evaporated and enters the atmosphere, it will condense into droplets called ice nuclei. Cloud will form as many of the droplets come together until it is heavy enough and fall back to the ground. Adding a state gives clouds a boost by creating ice nuclei that grow faster and bigger than normal.
Hi, I'm going to talk about the bad sides of weather modification. Weather modification causes ozone depletion. This could happen when we add chemicals like sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. It is proven by the researchers that by doing this, we could cooler the earth. But we also have to remember that these sulfur aerosols carry significant risks with them. One of them is that they produce sulfuric acid, which is a highly corrosive chemical that could damage the ozone. The ozone is known to absorb ultraviolet light from the sun, so its depletion could lead an increased rate of skin cancer, eye damages, and other adverse consequences. In addition, it is also known to reduce precipitation, condemning hundreds and thousands of millions of people to drought. It alters regional climate, so it also brings disastrous effects such as famine.
Hi, so now I will talk about the effect of weather modification on society. Firstly, the use of weather modification is to increase the management of water supplies. The seeding of winter storms over the mountain is to produce additional runoff, and it is the type of precipitation augmentation that effects can be most accurately predicted. Analysis over many years have indicated the runoff from watersheds on the southwest side of the Sierra Nevada can be increased by 5 to 10% silver iodide seeding. The size of watershed required for economically viable program is only 1,000 km per square. Second is the effects of rainfall increase on crop yields in dry farming operations. There are many places in the world where irrigation is not available, but where crop yields are limited by available rainfall. Large areas of the Great Plains of North America and of the grain-producing areas of Africa, Australia, and the USSR fall into this category. Cloud seeding has been widely used in an attempt to stimulate crop production in these regions. Previous models in which monthly or even daily rainfall amounts are entered along with other weather elements to predict the crop yields. For example, a recent study indicates that Illinois' corn yield usually will not be increased by additional rainfall during the month of June, but that additional rainfall during a typical July or August will increase the yields.
Hi, I'll be talking about the latest updates on weather modification. Thanks to breakthroughs in fundamental research and key technologies, the idea of weather modification as a way of reversing climate change is becoming more and more feasible. In December this year, China revealed plans to expand on an experimental weather modification program that will cover artificial rain or rainfall over an area of more than 5.5 million square kilometers within the next 5 years. This program will help with disaster relief, agricultural production, emergency responses to forest fires, and dealing with high temperatures or drought. So I know this may seem great, and while other countries have also invested in cloud seeding, China's plan has sparked debate, particularly in their neighboring country, India, where agriculture is heavily dependent on the monsoon. The lack of proper coordination of weather modification activity can potentially lead to rain stealing between neighboring countries. According to Danasri Jayaram, without regulation, one country's efforts could affect other countries. So although weather modification has experienced breakthroughs and can potentially help save the planet, there is a lack of a system of checks and balances to facilitate the implementation of potentially controversial projects.
As explained earlier, the main argument when it comes to geoengineering is that it is a useful method for mitigating global warming, since other methods of mitigation such as the reduction of GHG emissions have been unsuccessful. Although that may be the case, geoengineering as in weather modification is not the solution for all global issues. Let's take cloud seeding as an example, which is mentioned earlier, has its benefits and risks at the same time. Therefore, whatever the solution is, the possible harm should be considered. In conclusion, natural occurrence is always better and healthier than manipulated events.
Oh, so that's what weather modification is, right?
Yes! So what do you guys think about weather modification, aka fixing the sky? Is it yay or nay?